Hello, and welcome back. I'm Blunners, if you don't know this, and I'll do a little video on the game of the month for 2024. So this will obviously be part of the Indie Heroes 4 collection when that comes out. Should be in February. We haven't had the announcement yet, but we are waiting for it. So yeah, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a little rundown of every game that was released, my thoughts of each one. And then at the end, I'll do my overall thoughts because, do you know what I mean, there was little worrying times at one point, but I think we're all right in the end. So, without further ado, I will go to the first game that was released. So we kicked off with The Curse of Illimore Bay. This was the first one that was released. Yeah, I've never heard of the game. Obviously, it was from the people who done the Crow Maiden one on Indie Heroes 2. And yeah, it looked great. It was a 16-bit game. There's some great music on there, like it says. And yeah, I played it for a little bit. It didn't really catch me, though. You could play as a few different characters, couldn't you? Obviously, the 3 characters here. Yeah, it wasn't one that I overly... It wasn't like it didn't stand out to me. Right? It was all right. But it wasn't like something that I couldn't put down, if you know what I mean. Like you said here, it was a lot harder than I anticipated, to be honest. I remember I just kept dying quite easily. But yeah, once you worked out what you had to do, use your wings, and that you were actually like little vampires and stuff, and that you needed blood, it kind of like opened up the game to you. So, but yeah, look at the look of it. It looked great. Sound was great, and yeah, this was the first game that came out. So you had upgrades to find, special abilities, drinks that reduce the energy for the cost of your abilities. Yeah, it just says here to get started with the Curse of Illimore Bay Game of the Month program for 2024. Connect your Evercade and download it. Yeah, so yeah, it was all right. It wasn't. It was. I would say I would have given it about 6 out of 10. It wasn't like overly amazing game, but it wasn't absolute rubbish, so it wasn't too bad. So yeah, this was the first game we got, and that was The Curse of Illimore Bay. And then the second game we got was here, Block'em and Sock'em. I've got this about May time, it says here. Yes, May was when the update was. And yeah, I really didn't like this game. It wasn't something I really enjoyed at all. It says it's brought a collaborative project between 2 veterans, YouTuber John Hancock and Second Dimension, who done the game last month as well. So yeah, Block'em and Sock'em. If I remember, that's like you're throwing the box up to the air and up to the sky, and it was some sort of little like puzzler game. But yeah, it wasn't for me at all. It wasn't something I enjoyed. It wasn't something that I think I played it once and didn't even bother going back to it. And the fact that it's already come out on Mega Drive or Sega Genesis, or wherever you're from. It'd already come out on there that people could buy and play that. But yeah, for me, this was a real miss. This just wasn't what I was looking for. Like yeah, it just seemed a bit shovelware-y to me, to be honest. It wasn't something that I thought, wow, this is really selling me the cart here. So I would give it I'd say like a 2 out of 10, because like I said, I played this once and it didn't enjoy any of it. I just thought, no, it's not really for me. So yeah, that was Block'em and Sock'em. This was the second game that we got. Then the next one came in June, and that was what do you call it? Nightmare. It was Nightmare, but spelled a bit weird. Yeah, the Ninth King. This one came in June. Yeah, it was another miss for me. It wasn't. I didn't really like it. Didn't really understand what was going on. The character looked great, and you know what I mean, it looked fine and that. I've just seen he made the game. What does it say? It's a platformer by independent developer LVs. So it's an 8-bit handheld and the first entry in the series. But yeah, it wasn't. I did not enjoy this at all, and I love my platformers, and I just didn't. It just didn't connect with me. So that was like out of 3 games so far, Curse of Illimore Bay was an average game for me, and these two were just 2 misses, and it was like it just wasn't something I was looking for. So yeah, and I'd say again, I think I played it once, maybe twice. I played it, and I just thought it, I just didn't like what I was playing. Do you know what I mean? I must have played it for a couple of hours just to see if it would hook me and if it would actually make me go back to it, and it didn't. But yeah, like I said, I couldn't really make out what the character was or which way it was facing half the time. But yeah, for me it was another miss. It's such a shame because do you know what I mean? I like the sound of it, like the premise of it. The character looked really good, but it just didn't play of anything how I wanted to. So yeah, this was number 3, and that was Nightmare the Ninth King. Then the next one, game number 4, was an absolute random one. It was Jane Austen 8-bit adventure. This came out in July, and yeah, just double check who's it made from. Jane Austen's 8-bit adventure. It's got voices in it. Don't worry if you've never heard of Austen's work, because the game itself is simple to pick up and play, and it basically it tells you through it. It's quite funny. You're going around with like your quill. But yeah, who's it published by? I'm trying to see where it's published. But yeah, Matthew Justice was the publisher there. So yeah, solo work. I loved it. I thought this was actually quite good. It wasn't amazing or anything, but it wasn't crap. If you watched any of the TEP Evercade podcast shows, we used to call it Stone Cold Jane Austen. So I played this for quite a bit actually. Managed to do quite a few of the bosses. Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was like, there she is, look, with her feather. But yeah, it was a lot better than I expected it to be honest, because obviously the first 3 games hadn't really done anything for me, whereas this game I thought actually it's quite good. So yeah, I would give this game like a 7. This is like a 7 out of 10 for me, or as I normally say, 7 triangles out of 10. So yes, you'd work your way around these. You had boss fights. I think did you get a power up as well after each one? Yeah, look, I read your book and it was a dagger to my heart. You must think, yeah, a knife or a fool. So then, like, yeah, you having to like work these bosses out. It was so funny. I thought it was quite funny when I first played it. But yeah, actually, quite enjoyed that one. And that is, well, we call it Stone Cold Jane Austen, but that is Jane Austen's 8-bit adventure, and that was the 4th game of Game of the Month. So then the next one was Collie Defense, and this came out in August, and yeah, this was another miss. This just didn't hit with me. It was I think the first level you don't even have to do anything. It was like a tower defense game, and yeah, I remember when I first turned it on, and played it, and I just didn't know what was going on. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Didn't realise you run out of money, so you can't keep. So for the harder levels, you need to keep your money so that for the harder levels you can put out better guns and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, tower defense game. Yeah, it wasn't. I just didn't really like it. It also says here it's from John Rue. After the initial jam, John Rue in the retro room previously brought us Quest to Rest on Indie Heroes and Galactus on Indie Heroes 2. But yeah, it just wasn't. It just wasn't for me. It was another miss. I'd say I'd give it. I played it a couple of times, so I gave it more than just a one go, whereas on the first couple. But yeah, played it, didn't really think much of it. So out of like the 5 games, I think there was only one that I really liked at the minute. That was so. It's hard to explain. It's not like they just slowly like trundle through on a path, and you've just got to put a cannon up and just wait for it to kill them off while you're just sat there watching it. So it wasn't like, do you know what I mean? It just didn't do anything for me. I just think there's other games I could be playing on here. So yeah, Quality Defense was a big hit, a big miss for me. So out of the 5 games, I would say 1 I quite enjoyed it, 1 was all right, and then 3 just not for me. So that was game number 5. So yeah, so like I was saying before, out of the 5 games, there's only 1 I kind of liked. The other 3 were Curse of Will Bay's all right, but the other 2 I just didn't like at all. And then Quality Defense I didn't like at all. But then Game of the Month number 6 come out, Soo Banana. Now this I did really enjoy. It reminded it was it's a great. This was more of a puzzle. It was better than the Block'em Sock'em game. This was actually great. This was really good. I really enjoyed it. This was something I did play quite a bit. It's an 8-bit puzzler, and it says in it designed in the style of, but no aping around. Exactly the classic soak and block pushing game. So yeah, you go around pushing your blocks, get all your bananas for extra points, and you got to push them down into certain areas, into certain ways for them to work. But yeah, I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was really good, and I was like, finally, we've got at least 2 games on here that are worth getting. I know there was a couple of grumblings because some people didn't like this either, so it was a bit like Indie Heroes 4 might not be for them, but I quite enjoyed this game, and I think it was slowly starting to turn the cart back around in their favour. But yeah, Soo Banana, I really liked it. I'm just trying to see if it says anywhere that who developed the game. But yeah, this was a big hit for me. So that was game number 6, Soo Banana. Then the big hitter came, and this was the one that we kind of guessed. We had on TEP, on Total Evercade podcast, a couple of times we'd said something's got to save this cart, something's got to save Indie Heroes 4. And then Mr. Owlo himself announced that Flea 2 is coming to Indie Heroes 4. So yes, so Mr. Owlo is a great follower, and he's I mean, we talked to him quite a bit on our channel. So the fact that that Flea 2 came, we were just couldn't believe it. It is absolutely rock hard. You're a bouncing flea inside of a dog, and you're trying to get through. But this time you had boss fights. You can jump sideways now. So yeah, so I watched him a few times on TikTok before we knew we'd got it, and yeah, it was fantastic. So yeah, Low Tech Games brought us this, and a couple of people didn't even want to upgrade. They wanted to keep it so they could keep playing Flea 2. But yeah, it was just absolutely, the boss fights, the music in this game is phenomenal. So when you've got a boss fight here with the 2 mosquitoes, you're having to work your way through. You have to go through the warps here, try and get as much blood as you can, getting back out the other end. It's a non-stop. You're just non-stop jumping. It is rock hard. They are really hard ones, but once you work out the way to go, your side jumps and all that kind of stuff. It's brilliant. Like it says here, Flea 2 is crowdfunded project, just like it was with its prequel. Flea 2 launched its crowdfunding campaign on Leap Day. There's loads of puns in it. There's loads of like flea puns and everything in it. But yeah, this for me was a fantastic get, and in a lot of people's eyes, like especially in the hangout, a lot of people were like, this could be the game that saves the cart. So yeah, so number 7 that was released in October is Flea 2. So then after Flea 2, we got game number 8, Batty Zabella, or what we used to call it, Zabella, the player that used to play for Man City, West Ham, and all that. So yeah, this was another game. This was more of a point and click adventure, this one, on a Game Boy, and it came from the guys at Retro Room, and yeah, it was quite a weird one. So you're like a vampire, and you're having to go around to do these little tasks and click on things. It says it using B, but I played the first part of it, went through, to cook a mouse, put him into like bread as a sandwich, and bring him up to your son. But basically, she's like, "Oh, I'll put some clothes on," and you're like, "What?" And then I don't know. So then, yeah, this is like your screen here. So this is your character here. This is your cursor, and you'd have to move this around. So if you wanted to go upstairs, you'd move up there, click it, move it down the hallway, click it through this room, aim there and click it. So it's a point and click adventure game. Great idea on Game Boy graphics. I quite enjoyed it. I didn't think it was terrible. I didn't think it was terrible or anything. How's my little bat son hungry? So that, yeah, she's pretty much wearing nothing. It's quite weird. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I'd say it was kind of on the same levels as Stone Cold Jane Austen. So yeah, I always give it like a 7. So it wasn't terrible, wasn't Flea level. But yeah, it's a solid game, and it's not a horrendous game either. So it's nothing. It's just the music was a bit. The music it was doing me in for a bit. I think I've done a video on it, and I think I said it was doing my tits in. So that's quite funny. But yeah, the music starts to grind on you. But overall, game's not actually too bad. Quite enjoyed it. And that is game number 8, and that is Batty Zabella. Then we got game number 9. That's Mtop, and I think with the alpha just being released, it's the perfect game for to play on the arcade stick. Obviously, I had to get the 8-bit Do arcade stick out, and Mtop, oh, so good. It's so, yeah, Donut Dodo and Indie Heroes 3, and we needed that another big hitter, and this one's made in the same engine, the Godot engine, same, and it's Mtop. The music is fantastic. You're basically a rabbit that runs around, poos out bombs like Bomberman. It plays like Boulder Dash, and when the bombs go off, they take out the whole size. But what an absolute banger of a game to finish on, and for the year as well. Oh, it is so good, and the thing I just love about you just run around, your little rabbit running around with dropping bombs at your backside, and you just have to quickly like dart up or down, otherwise you can take yourself out. And the levels seem to go on for quite a while as well. And what also was really good about it is once you've finished or you've died and that, you'll then get a little QR code, and that gives you like a little leaderboard to where you are. What I'll do is I'll quickly pause this and I'll just go to my video of me playing it, just so you get the idea of this. So what I'll do is I'll just let you see some of this so you know how good this is. It's the music. It's fantastic. I'll just move that up. Just got to see my head. But look at it, fantastic. The music's great. Running around. This is the first time I'd ever played it, to be honest. A triangle face special, I don't know what that means. And there you go, that is basically a level of it. So, you see, I'm there, I'm going, wow. I'm like saying, how, do you know what I mean? How good is this game? So, yeah, for me, people were worried. People were thinking, like, just make myself a bit bigger there. People were thinking, like, is this Indie Heroes 4 going to be any good? Because there was a few games, like, that just weren't great. And, like, and then I said I liked Stone Cold. I liked Jane Austen. We call it Stone Cold Jane Austen. I liked Jane Austen game. That was quite good. Obviously, then Flea 2 come out, and you think finally. And then obviously this one they just saved the best till last. It basically reminds me of Donut Dodo, like the same engine, that Go Not engine or Go Dot engine, I call it. Yeah, it's fantastic, and for me, it's the console seller, the cart seller. Sorry. Yeah, I want to know your thoughts. Because at one point I was thinking, I don't know about this cart. I don't know if it's going to be worth it. There's people in the Hangouts who are like, should we even bother with like the game of the month? If they're going to, should they do it for different carts? Do you know what I mean? Not just indie hero ones, not indie titles, but obviously these give these kind of developers a big limelight. So yeah, so this is great. So for me, this game's a 9 out of 10. So, but the overall cart in a general, I would give it maybe a 7. A 6.5, maybe 7, but Mtop, Flea 2 definitely saved it for me. So they're the big hitters on this cart. So yeah, when it comes out in February, I'll definitely be there getting it. So I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of Indie Heroes? Because I mean, some of these games I like, you think they're rubbish. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. So I'm Blunners. If you're new here, leave me a comment, leave me a like, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. See you later, everyone.